Hi Scrapbook friends, welcome back to my channel. Virginia here with a new layout to share with you. Today I'm going to create a layout using this photo of myself in a aircraft. Actually, last summer I went to California in a road trip with my boyfriend, and we went to the USS Midway Museum in San Diego. And so we visited it and we saw all these old aircrafts, and there was the possibility to climb on in one and take pictures, and that's what I did because I really loved it. And I know at this point that I want to use this beautiful collection by Simple Stories, which is called Simple Vintage Traveler, and is full of beautiful vintage map patterns with maps and icons, aircrafts, and hot air balloons, all this kind of stuff. And I also know that I want to use that beautiful piece of acrylic that you could see before. It's a globe, and inside there's an hello world phrase, and that's from BRAMBLE FOX. So I want to combine these elements, and I got the idea of using this beautiful word map, but I don't want to use the whole piece, but just a part of it. And my idea is to cut this almost half globe and glue on my background that is going to be this cardstock in this beautiful ivory color. And I also decided to make it a little bit more beautiful, or enhance it, I would say, and giving some texture by stitching all around the outline, and also along the meridians and parallels of the globe. So I'm using embroidered floss in 3 different colors. For the outline is this minty blue, I would say. Then a light blue for the internal outline that is not there yet, but I will stitch it as well. Now you can see it. And for the meridians and parallels, an even lighter blue. And now I'm going to cut this half, or almost half, of the globe, and fuzzy cutting all around the outline, because I want to incorporate this on the left side of my layout. And as I was saying, the cardstock that I'm using is very beautiful because it's textured, and there's this off-white, almost ivory color that is fantastic. I also got the idea of incorporating this beautiful border sticker that is in the sticker sheets included in the collection kit. And I think that it is very nice because it creates some extra layer, let's say, on top of this globe. Now I'm using the die cuts. The die cut packet is full of beautiful vintage icons, all sorts of icons, tickets, compasses, labels, and so on and so forth. And I really like them, so I'm creating here my little cluster, superimposing a little some of these pieces. And now I'm going to work on my photo. So I'm trimming down a little bit, and then I will create a few layers of pattern paper and die cuts behind it. First of all, I know that I want to use this pattern paper with all the aircraft, but first I want to create a first frame around the photo in a neutral color. So I'm using basically the scrap of paper of the page from which I cut the globe. So I'm making a sort of collage. I'm piecing together these two different pieces of this pattern to create a complete frame. And then once this is done, I will create a second layer behind it using this other pattern paper with all the vintage airplanes. Um, and then I will add a third layer, including another beautiful pattern paper, the one with all the colored polka dots. I'm going to ruffle up the edges of this because I want to add to this vintage and a little bit old style with some distressing. I'm also going to distress a little more the sides using my little distressing tool there. To add even more layers and details to my picture, I'm adding a few more die cuts all around. I like this little card with the travel sticking out, and I'm adding this die cut, which is actually already a cluster in itself. And this is basically the layout, the design I want to give my layout with these three main elements. And at this point, once I have decided the design, I'm going to make a little bit of mixed media on my background, nothing very heavy. That's why I'm not putting gesso on the cardstock. And I'm going to create. I want to create a sort of cloudy effect. That's why I'm putting the colors on the cardstock with a brush, doing this sort of circular movements. And I think that the effect that I'm creating looks actually a little bit as a big cloud. And I'm using some distress oxide, two shades of blue, the broken china, and actually the other one is the peacock feather, that is minty blue, and also a distress ink in green, and it's called sage something. I don't remember now. So yeah, I'm using these three shades. I'm adding a little bit. I'm going back and forth, putting back the cluster and the photo to see how much of this color can be seen all around my elements. And I think that I'm almost done with the mixed media. I will add a little bit of splatters because, of course, splatters are always good, let's say. And now I can stick my elements. Actually, first of all, I'm gluing down the globe. I glued it with adhesive foam to give it a dimension. And now I'm thinking what else I can add to my clusters. So I'm using some stickers, some die cuts, and also I have these beautiful chipboards. I added a couple of elements at the border on the globe. I also love that cluster with the compass, the arrow, and other banner, other pieces there. And I'm also thinking of incorporating a couple of these aircrafts. One is a die cut, and another one is a sticker. What else? Oh, of course, I want to include, I was saying, this stunning acrylic piece, this globe that says hello world, and it's from Bramble Fox. So I'm going to put it a little bit superimposed on the globe. I found this piece of a card included in one of the cut apart pages of the collection that I used in some other project. So I thought, why not? Let's include it too. Let's create an additional layer behind the picture and distress its age as well. Now, before gluing down the picture and the cluster, I thought I wanted to include a few geotags. I have this packet of geotags, of chipboard geotags. These are from Studio Calico. I had them for a few years, I think now. I found them in my stash. I thought that was the perfect occasion to use them. And they come in two different shades, one dark blue and light blue, and two different sizes. And I'm combining them with a few of the geotags that are also included in the chipboard sheet, the chipboard packet of this collection. So now I'm sticking down the acrylic piece too, and I also stuck that die cut, the big die cut with the compass with adhesive foam. Now I'm incorporating these aircrafts, and I got the idea actually of creating or drawing better the trails or the trajectory for this airplane. So you will see in a minute that I will trace it down with a black pen. For the moment, I'm sticking down and gluing down with liquid glue these geotag, which are chipboard and they are not sticky, so you need to add glue to them. Another little geotag there. Here is the trail that I traced, and I also wrote my journaling all along the outline of the word map. I thought that was it, but no. I decided to stitch along or over the trail that I've just drawn. I couldn't leave it alone because I really, really love the effect of and the texture of stitching on paper. So I took the same embroidery flosses that I used for the globe. Of course, this is the minty color, the blue minty color, and I'm using this to stitch the first section, let's say, of the trail, the part below the picture, and then I will use the lighter blue for the rest of my trail, and I'm using a simple run stitching, but I think that the effect is cute, and I really love the texture and the vivid colors of embroidery floss. And as you can see, I decided to add a third aircraft because two seemed not enough. It was somehow incomplete. So now I really, really like how it turned out. I think this collection and the acrylic are stunning and perfect for this picture. I hope that you liked this project. If you did, please give me a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel if you are not yet a subscriber. Also, don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified anytime I upload new content to my channel. Thank you very much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye bye!